Are you ready to save our kids? If children are the living messages that we send to a time that we will not see, Save Our Kids is an opportunity for you to be introduced to a few school and student helpers that will support each child's individual journey. If there is a space or a place to improve the lives of our children, we know a few families and business owners who have made it their business to answer the call for help and provide a solution to those quietly discussed challenges that impact our children and eventually us all. We could not just choose one kiddo to save, so we are asking for your help to reach more. Join Keeping Your Kids Safe as we identify some of the problems and share a few solutions that have been created just for you. Woohoo! Hello, hello. How are you today?
I'm good, Tabata. How are you doing? Thanks for having me here.
I'm doing good. Man, apparently I'm on the run. So I was like running from one place to another. So my apologies for the delay, but I appreciate your patience while we figuring this out. Hey, Phil. So yes, I wanted to have this conversation with you. Our summer series is different, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's see, which side do I want to be on? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, that'll be me. All right, so I need to cool down just a little bit. All right, so thank you for being here. But I also wanted to start by saying there's a couple of things that I always start by saying early, but this is different. Parents, we're under a lot of stress. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of noise. We can't always blur out the noise. We can't always get into a place where we're okay. But what I want to say is this: I may not know you, but I care about you. I care about who you brought into this world. I care about their growth and their progress in life. And one thing I do most definitely care about is the fact that you're here to take care of them long term. I just want to say, please, please, please take care of yourself. No one will raise your child the way you will raise your child. No one will teach your child the way you will teach your child, and no one will love your child the way you will love your child. So please, if you have a heart problem, a diabetes problem, a health issue of any kind, take it take a moment and take care of yourself, because if you're not here, the impact is greatly felt through your family and especially through your children. Now, to switch back to Save Our Kids, because that's still part of it. The thing about all of this is that this platform has been created in order. Hello, Andrea. Oh, it's been a while. I've created this with the intent to support the community, the teachers, the parents, and most importantly, the student, because all of us are pouring into them, and we have to be mindful of that. So it's extremely important that we build this platform, not to point fingers, not to say how horrible of the situation that you are or what you're doing and things like that. 100% not that. Because as always, like I say, we love our teachers. So we just want to support you, and that's what we're here to do. I always want to say special thanks to our friends at Helpopedia. Please go ahead and scan that QR code and connect with them. And they are going to be here. They're heart-centered people to support you, right? They want to help you plan for your child's future. They want to help with the tutoring. They want to help with special needs. They want to help you as a parent, single parent, male or female, guardians, grandparents, and aunties. Whomever you are, come one, come all, come join us at Helpopedia, because we are here to help you. Okay. Also, I'd like to say, if you could please like and subscribe to the channel, that would be great. I'm not very good at I'm not very good at promoting myself a lot, but this is going to be extremely important because we're going to continue to improve our content over time. So we have a summer series. We always talk about various things with 3 other business owners, but today we're actually going to focus ourselves on just one. So we talk a lot about our reading, the fact that there's too many children, well, approximately 40%, who do not know how to read or do math. So those two are together. So summertime's here. We need to have conversations with people who own the space, who is in the space to help you. So we brought oh my gosh, every time I see your name, I'm like, this is good. I can pronounce this. Nevedita.
Yeah.
Nevedita. There you go. I finally got it. Nevedita. All right. So we invited her here so that she can share with us what are some things that would help our children during the summer. All right. So you want to give a little bit more about yourself so that people know who you are. What is happening? Go ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tabata, for having me here. I also would like to thank Helpipedia. I'm so privileged to be a partner. I mean, a community partner for them. I love what they do overall. I'm not going to details here, but yeah, I love to talk about children. And of course, with children come the parents, because I cannot well, they cannot support the children, and the children are our future. So everything, I think the entire ecosystem should be strong enough so that they can support the children. So summer, as rightly pointed, this is the time when the schools close down and the children, they take a break. We don't have to study, that's fine. They go on for vacation. Everything is perfect. But at the same time, what happens is the learning takes a setback.
Yes.
We don't want to force anyone to study during this time, because that's not right. But at the same time, we should keep the learning alive. I'm going to speak more about that, but I'd like to give a little bit of introduction about myself. People are just hearing me blah blah blah. Sorry, I forgot about when I start speaking about kids, I forget. And so my name is Nivedita Lahiri. As you can see, I have an educational startup called Council Academy. We are located in Western Connecticut. Very brief about it. What we do, we provide educational support, educational services to school-aged children from grades 3 to 12. We are totally online, so anyone from within the US can avail our services. And another thing I'd like to mention, that we are STEAM focused. So STEAM focused means STEM subjects, and along with arts and communication, that is the STEAM. So science, technology, engineering, mathematics, anything, any subject that deals with STEM. I initially thought about STEM, but I thought again that without the communication and writing, this entire thing doesn't make sense, because communication is the basis of developing relationships, a basis of developing partnerships. As they grow up, they need to, man is a social animal, so communication is very important. Okay, so this is pretty much about, I'm sorry, Tabata.
That's good. All right, cool. So we're good. So we can start our conversation. That's all we're here to do, is just start talking about it. So I'm going to go on the other side though of you, and your audio clicks out every once in a while. So I think that's kind of what we're hearing.
I'm sorry?
Your audio sound it goes out every once in a while. Okay. But other than that, we're okay. So so I'll start with this. What are some of the things that the parents should want to should do over the summer? For me, I used to give them summer bridges. I would buy them a book for the grade. I would buy them one for the one that they're leaving and the one that they're going to. And then they would have to set aside an hour every day in order to do summer bridges. And in order for them to go forward. So you tell me.
Sure. Uh-oh. So what I think, again, it's my, that's what I think. That summer, as I said, it's a time to relax a bit. We can't, tell the child, oh, you have to study for the next grade. I think the learning should continue, for sure, but in a different way. We let them find their, passion. We give them a choice. What do you want to learn? You cannot stop learning, but what do you... So I believe that according to the age of the student, say elementary school, middle school, or high school, I think their choice or their freedom or what they want to study or what they want to learn should change. For an elementary kid, it's mainly exploration during the summer. So the parents should support. I mean, they are still young. The parents have to actively participate. in that mission of the child. Okay, I want you to explore what you like. They are still young. They don't have time for them to explore. Maybe visit a science museum and maybe talk to dad or mom about that. That's also learning. Take up something like public speaking, take up debating, maybe not throughout the summer, but maybe 2 weeks during the summer. My daughter went to the robotics camp last year for 2 weeks. She's already in the team, but something extra to learn because she's passionate about it. So I think the early years, I mean, students in the elementary, encourage them to explore more and more new things. So that is what should be the style of learning during the summer for young people. For middle schoolers, again, it's also exploration, but that's more specialized because now the kids are adolescents and they have their own opinion. I hope I'm making it clear that now they don't just listen to what.
Let me do like me. We're just gonna breathe here for a minute. Take a deep breath because I know I came in hot and hard, but the thing about it is take a deep breath and just know that you're in this space. You're very passionate about what you're doing and it's working. Understand, people who are here to learn from you are going to hear the message. So it's okay. I'm here. I got you. Children need to know what else they need to do over the summer. It can't just be summer bridges is what you're saying to me. That's what I just received. And maybe possibly it's take your kid to work, show them your books, teach them something about your life that will be helpful and supportive of their growth so that when they return back to school, they have a little bit more well-rounded education. And it's not all book learning.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
All right,
That cool. Is the learning goes on, but it's more of a real life. I'm very focused on, my favorite is like real life education. Like a child wants to, they want to learn about performing arts. There are many smart kids who want to perform. Maybe take them to theaters, maybe, make them participate in small groups where they do some dramas or plays. That helps that really builds language, that builds communication, that builds confidence. I'm just giving an example of what the child likes and how we can expose them to such learning. So this is what I'm focusing on for the younger children.
So for the younger ones, so let's break it down.
The older children, I would say high school.
Okay. Go ahead.
So this is for the younger children I'm talking about. Exploration, exploring new things. Ask them, what do you want to do? We cannot stop learning because it's summer, but I want you to enjoy your learning. So anything they enjoy, and expose them to the practical knowledge. Give them a first-hand experience of what they like. Then they will get a clearer idea like and what they don't. That's what I mean.
So, so what does that do for the child, though? Right? So, so does a parent do you think that a parent has to spend time explaining certain things that as they're going through the day with that child, which kind of takes away from the focus that they may have because they having to teaching a person who may not be interested in that? So what is the suggestion for that? Because sometimes parents don't take their kids to work because they're like, well, wait, I have to manage you and your full-time job and then do this over here. And I don't feel like I want to explain a lot of things to you because I don't know the relevance to that child, right? So how would parents go about doing this?
So I think a minimum amount of time is important for the parent to spend with the child. Maybe early in the morning or maybe late at night, a certain amount of time definitely to discuss what they like, what they want to do over the summer. What do they wish? I think this is important.
Oh, I get you.
Maybe find something like that. Find a camp. It could be in person, it could be online, but find something the child likes and put them there.
Okay.
So they experience so that the experience, it could be academics as well. It's not always extracurriculars. Say, for example, the child really wants to study something, say wants to learn more about chemistry. He or she is very excited about that. So why not put them there, like, or online, that help them, feed their passion and help them learn more.
So how did you determine what your child liked? You have them try different things and say, once we start this, we don't you don't allow them to quit.
By talking is the first therapy that the best thing can the parent do. Listen to the child. That is the main thing.
Okay, now, friend, I'm about to we gonna I'm gonna tug a war on you a little bit. Children are not talking to their parents. What are we doing? What are we thinking? How do we do that? Because a lot of times they're talking to their peers. They're talking to anybody now, everybody. I remember seeing a story, and this still is current for me. You see the child over in this like in the courtyard talking to someone else, and they're hee hee ha 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 ha. And when they come to you, they're like, fine, mean, whatever. So parents have to figure out how to overcome that in order to figure out what that child wants. Because a lot of times, in my opinion, a lot of parents will
have
on to them, right?
Yeah. So in that case, maybe from like before the school ends, the parents have to connect with the person, with someone who can help them out, or maybe invite the children to, join some fun group activity or talk to a professional. But generally, I see that the students or the children like to listen to someone else rather than a parent.
Yes.
So the professional can talk to them. Okay, just exactly what I was saying. What do you like to do? It's about you. It's not about me. What do you like to learn?
Oh, so you're asking the children, what do they want to do? And then, so for me, I'm gonna add my little 2 pennies in here, and they have to be willing to listen. At the end of the day, people can say to you anything and everything that they want to say. But if you are not listening, you will not hear what they're saying, and you will not give them the plan to get there. So parents have to be willing to listen. Parents really have to be willing to listen.
Yes.
And abide by that.
Listening.
I'll tell you my example.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest, I was like, what do you want to do? What do you like? Things like that. She's been an artist her entire life. And I'm telling you, since little, entire life. She's had notebook after notebook where she has drawn in this book. Mm-hmm. And I would ask her what she wanted to be, or what does she want to do when she grows up? How is she going to make her money? Art. That's what she wanted, art. But when I ask her for, how about a backup plan? She's like, I don't need no backup plan. I'm just going to go this direction. So instead of me fighting her, I'm trying to develop a backup plan. There's one thing about being an adult that children don't understand is because we've already been where you are currently. We understand a little bit more about what that journey looks like. So as I was discussing with her, I really would prefer you to come up with the backup plan. She was not having it. She didn't care about a backup plan. She didn't want to plan for failure of the first plan. That wasn't what her interest was. So I couldn't fight her, because then I would lose the ability to have a conversation with her. So all I did was I allowed life to do what life does best, which is show you what the parents were trying to explain to you prior to you getting to that point where you have to make a decision. And now she has a backup plan that is not not the backup plan that she wanted, but the backup plan that life gave her.
Yes, so this is mainly for the older kids. What you're talking about is perfect, but it's not for the young ones. The young ones don't understand backup plans and for the future. They just want to live their life at the moment. But for the middle school, that was what I was coming to. Like the middle school, in the middle school is more about exploration and specialization, and in high school, by that time, I would say from middle school as well, what their passion or their interest will lead to in future. So
This is
what will
true.
it lead to? Say, for example, someone loves music. Okay, they can like anything. So what? So the discussion. Put them in music, maybe put them up in discussion with a professional. Okay, what are the career prospects in music? Doesn't hurt anything. Talk to a professional. So let them hear from the professional, not from the parents, from the professional. What will it take? How much they'll make? Approximately, again. I'm not discussing any particular profession, but just giving an example. So will the kid be satisfied with it? Pros and cons of a career. So that is what I think when they are adolescents, that is the main thing that they should focus on. Yes, of course, their interest. We are not going to throw them in something. At least I don't support throwing them into something and force them to be there in, because that doesn't work, to be honest.
This is true. I understand that. So I left
Something that I don't like.
one thing you don't like.
Yeah, so one thing I myself don't like is, say for example, I don't like to do something. I will just carry on up to a certain level and then I will quit, because I'm not getting the kick, or I'm not having the passion. It's becoming mechanical. So I don't want the student or the child to, not like something, then they won't succeed.
Okay. So that's why I left this question up here. Andrea asked a very good question. Is it a good idea to let children quit? Yes and no, from my opinion. Just mine. You can give yours, but I'm going to give mine because I see Phil has done his, and it's a great question. So, is it okay to let your child quit? Yes, but only after
Yes.
they get past a certain point. So
Mhm.
it cannot be that you allow them to quit when they hit the wall. That is like you running a marathon that you have planned for and have worked for and have done all the workout in order and prepared for this marathon, and you hit the wall and stop. You can't allow children to do that, because the hard stuff they will not push through. When they run into hard challenges, they will not have the skill set necessary to push through the wall. So when my children says, well, I want to start with soccer, I was like, you have it for the season, just know that, right? So I put parameters around them quitting. If you start soccer, you have to end soccer for the season. But after that, if you no longer wish to play, we will no longer put you there. So that's how I was able to deal with the quitting thing. How are you able to deal with that?
I agree. Absolutely. Again, it's not a long-term thing. A certain, you know, I mean, for a certain time, they could get their exposure. That's what I'm saying. Exposing them to certain things. Let them get a taste of what, say, for example, a kid said that you said, I like soccer. I explore it. But you have to finish it, get the entire taste, what it feels like. Then if you want to continue, I am supportive. If you don't want to, that's your choice. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
I,
big thing.
yeah. Yeah. And planning, I believe that organizational skills and planning, thinking about the future. I know most of the young ones, they don't do that.
Right. And that's
That,
what me and Phil were talking about last week, is the planning,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. I want to talk about some funny thing that I heard. I think a few years back, I was watching a serial, finance serial. I forgot the name. I think The Mind Game or something. I forgot. So there was an elderly professional in an investment bank. He was talking to his group. He said there are three routes to success. Three routes. One is to cheat, which is not recommended.
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. The second thing is that you are a genius.
Oh my gosh.
Only maybe 1% of the population is the genius that they don't have. And the third way is to get a head start, plan ahead. That is to me, that is the main and the strongest and best way to succeed. Generally doesn't fail. So I think all the children and their parents should try for a head start, which we stand for. I mean, I am all for head start. Prepare, prepare, prepare. So when you
That's what Phil said. Look,
Set.
I did the same thing. I almost look if I was drinking something, I'd have
It is.
like it's hysterical. The first one was to cheat. Oh my gosh. We have to pedal faster. Oh, what is it? We have to paddle faster. This is a problem. If you're saying the first thing is to cheat. So wait. This first thing is to cheat. Okay, so one thing. One is they do not. So do you treat boys and girls the same? Boys in football, push, right? Get it done. Girls, as soon as they say, or I don't want to do it, we let them quit. That's why if you look at the two, the boys will know how to push through things a lot easier and better than girls. Because unless a girl is settled with somebody that says, you don't have that, this is not going to happen, you're not going to get this extra support, you have to figure out your way through it, then and only then will you get some very strong.
Yeah, no, I mean, what I believe is that both are the same. They are the future citizens. I don't care about boys and girls.
but okay now.
I don't see them differently. They both have to be independent. They both have to succeed.
Yes.
So
but you cannot negate the sex. You cannot negate the gender. Because that is why my generation got the crap beat out of us ultimately in business. Because we were told that as women, we were not allowed to do and that we were not allowed to be things like that. And I planned after I left college, I planned my trajectory of life, of my career, what that was supposed to do. I have to honestly say, when I built that plan, I was like, this is awful. I don't know how this is going to work, blah, 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 blah. But it actually turned out that exactly what I had planned to do is exactly what happened. And believe it or not, I'm still on the journey and didn't even realize it. I had to look at it from a different perspective, right? So planning is extremely important. You know, but you're funny, cheating.
A new class, a new year. You start a new year or a new session. You think what I want to achieve in this year. Think what you want to achieve, work for it, you will get it. So that's what I tell her.
Okay, so that's what you say. I'm telling you, today's a tug of war day, and you're my person. So we're gonna play tug of war a little bit. Here's the thing. So we say this is what we're gonna do. We want to make this plan forward, but the plan so we want to believe that all of our children that they know that this is what's gonna happen. But what happens is I have a friend. Both of them went in for the same position with the same amount of experience. Mm-hmm. They were brother and sister, fortunately for them, because they could have a hard conversation without getting punched in the face, right? The boy, they gave him $1 more in salary than they did the girl. But the point was that the parents said, you guys are equal. You can go and do whatever you want to do. So together you can go and do this and you will get treated the same, right? You will get treated the same. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't true. So when she asked her brother, how much did they offer you? He gave her $1 more. And she's like, I'm not doing this. So she went back. That's what I'm saying. If you put girls in position to push through the wall, they will be able to stand up for themselves and say, I don't like this. And so she went in and told them, he has just as much experience as I do, and you gave him $1 more. That's not okay. And I won't work here unless you make her pay equal. Right. So she was able to do that because she was provided enough.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I think they should be empowered. Girls should be empowered because not only as professionals, of course, everyone should get equal opportunity and everything. Women should be empowered because, they are the next generation's mothers. So along with the professional, they also have this additional, I would say, privilege or whatever that they have to nurture. A mother has to be wise, has to be empowered, because unless a mother is empowered, they cannot raise empowered kids. That's what I believe.
So, okay, so your story said number one is cheating. I find that, I just feel like I need to I need a necklace. But Andrea had an experience where she felt as though people were cheating, cheating. And so she ended up leaving the program behind that. So what was it? So are they teaching, or should we teach our boys and our girls to cheat? Or are we only teaching those, we teaching one group to cheat over the other? I don't think cheating is ever good.
Anyway, it could maybe give a short burst of success, but the person loses all credibility. It's too risky. I believe I don't have the courage. It's too risky.
I know. I'm just like, I don't understand. Why would we put that out there in the universe as an option for these kids?
This was a funny dialogue in one of the serials. It was a finance serial, and that guy, he was a top boss in one of the financial firms, and he was talking to his team. Well, there are 3 routes to success. One is cheat, second is be a genius, third is plan ahead. It's head start. Choose the one you
choose your path, right? Yes. I would prefer to plan. If I've the other one, because I wouldn't consider myself a genius. So I'm not going to do that. But what I will say, I will plan, but planning doesn't always feel so great. And like I had said, there's a generation who doesn't believe planning is the appropriate way to move. They just don't find the value in it. So, but I do want to circle back to Counsel Academy. What does your program provide? How can parents get associated with you? And what's the benefit of them coming to Counsel Academy to work with you?
So, as you can see, our name is Counsel Academy. Though we provide educational services to students, within the lessons, we always offer counseling. We go deep into the student's learning style and try to customize it in order to increase the learning potential of the student. So that is our way of teaching a student is very unique. And the second is, as I said, we offer enrichment programs along with, curriculars and co-curriculars. We have another program called extracurricular academics. If a student is interested in those extracurricular academics, let me give an example. Robotics. We have a program called robotics. It's not in mainstream academics, of course, but it's a part of engineering, which are there in some of the schools, but not many programs outside offer robotics. We offer a hybrid robotics program. It has its limitations because it's very local, kids can't come from very far away. We are trying to build an online robotics program for children who are interested, but most of the parents, they like the kids to do in person. So that is what.
So you and I should talk offline because I actually have the idea.
I'm sorry?
You and I should talk offline because I do have a way for you to be able to do that and do it seamlessly. It's going to be powerful, and you'll be able to have people inside your space within a matter of weeks. So I do have a suggestion for you. I'll share that with you outside of this.
Perfect. Another extracurricular academics that we have is financial education. I believe all kids from middle school should have early financial education. They should be able to manage their own finances. I'm not talking about investment banking or investing in stocks. No. Plain finance.
Yes,
that
absolutely.
100%. That and digital journalism we started. I mean, we are putting it aside for the moment, but I still believe it's a very important course or program because that helps the student to build their communication skills, which is very important. Again, I said we are about STEAM, so very, very important communication part. So these are the extracurricular academics that we have. And apart from that, we have like regular academics from grade 3 to 12. We are very focused on any STEM subjects, physics, chemistry, biology, math. At middle school level, I'm going to talk about that. For high school level, of course, the general honors, biology, physics, chemistry, AP level, we have experienced faculty to take care of that. We have worked with multiple children, prepared them for final exams. And there's a new curriculum that we developed for middle school children who don't have a structured curriculum for physics, chemistry, and biology. All of you know that. It's a general science program. But we
Mhm.
want the children who are interested to have a strong foundation of physics, chemistry, and biology so that once they reach high school, they get accepted into the AP programs without much effort.
So, what do you say to those parents or those young people who say, I'm not really good at math, so STEM may not be my thing? Would they still be a person that we would want to invite into STEM?
Yes. Yes, yes.
Explain why.
I would say try out. My policy is try out. Try out a session, I mean a season, maybe 3 months. If my teachers cannot make you enjoy it, then you try elsewhere, or then you know that you don't like it. But allow your child, or allow yourself, I'm talking to the child, to learn, give some time to learn about it.
Yeah. I think that
Of course, there are kids who don't enjoy science.
no, but they're really bad at math, right? So actually had someone say I've been really bad at math, so I would never go into engineering or into STEM. But that's not true. I
That's
mean,
not true. No.
it's not true because I wasn't really good at math. And it wasn't until I got to a teacher, an instructor, who actually figured out what my issue
Yes.
was. And
Yes.
then he was able to close that gap that allowed me to continue to fine tune what was gifted to
Exactly.
me, right?
That's what our teachers.
Because
Yes,
that's the thing.
that's exactly our teachers do. That's what I said. Work with the teachers. They try to find out the learning style of the student. What do they exactly need? Why don't they like it? Why don't you like math? Because cannot understand. We recently worked with a kid who was struggling with, again, math at middle school level. Said his mom said he's lagging behind. Why? He doesn't have his fundamentals right. Okay, so what my teacher did was trace back. Okay, do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know that? And it was found out that that guy was in middle school, 8th grade, and there was some sixth level subject that he was not good at or he missed. So, it's all built up on concepts, right? If an earlier concept is not there, then the upper concepts won't be there. So this is the diagnosis is very important.
This is true. So I think that people are always so that's why it's better to say do the research. So I was born. So I say this, and people are
Yes.
look at me and they're like, "Huh, what?" I was born an engineer. My DNA and by education, right? I was born a natural problem solver. So automatically it was very clear as the pathway that I was to take, but not the position that I was to hold. There was definitely a difference, right? So we knew that was where she understood I was going in a direction that was going to be different from the other children, right? But we have to, so she
Mhm.
answered, she answered me what I wasn't asking the question. My mom was like, "This kid is different, so we can't put her in a crafts place. We can't put her in a
Yes.
sewing place. I cannot sew a straight line with a sewing machine. This is terrible. The only thing I can do with sewing is to close a hole on a sock. That's as far as I can go. Oh, and I can put a button on a shirt, right? But they couldn't put me in things like that because I was never going to be okay, right? So they had to put me where I belong. So listening to your children is extremely important in order to give them what they're looking for. And I don't think a lot of people
Yes.
understand in STEM you do need math, yes, but
Yes.
depending on the occupation of choice, you don't need as
Yes.
much as you think. So
Exactly.
I looked it up, and our therapist is under STEM,
Hmm.
athletic trainers are under STEM,
Yes.
automatic engineering techs are under STEM.
Yes.
We go
All
biologists.
science, technology, engineering.
So why
Yes.
is it that people cannot? You can get into STEM. You don't need all this math. So what are some of the other challenges people say? Because I know math was the biggest part, right? So
There are so many other things in STEM that don't require extensive math. So economics, okay, finance. I mean, Yeah, I know there are some areas in finance they need math, but there are some others they don't require that extensive, like calculus and sort of that math. No,
I think we should
they
all start
don't.
by helping the children understand how to balance a checkbook, because that will show you math.
Yes. Yeah. No, those are basic math. Those are very basic math. Nothing high. Everyone knows how to, do addition, subtraction,
Don't make that
multiply.
assumption.
No, I mean an adolescent or a high school student.
Okay,
Don't.
don't make that assumption. I listened to a lady who said, I
Uh-huh.
listened to an educator who said that she had a tutoring business,
Okay.
and she was tutoring all the different types of children, and a 17-year-old football player, mom brought him in and said, please help him so he can, because he did whatever, his grades were terrible, whatever. So she says,
Mhm.
okay, she gives a test. So she determines where he is, what does she have to do, things like that.
Mhm.
And she said that he brought the test back so early, so she knew it wasn't right. He never made it out of kindergarten section. Okay. So
In
he
reading
made
and
it
writing.
all the way to high school. And other people, and so No Child Left Behind, when written originally, was not, it was meant so that you would manage whatever's going on so you don't leave them. But actually what's happening is that they're just using that as an excuse to push them to their next grade, therefore not meeting the minimum requirements. So even if we look at it, my viewpoint only, when you add a standardized test into the classroom, and then you go ahead and push the child through to another grade level because the test told you that child was not in a position to go to the next grade level, you are harming more than just that child. You're harming the family, you're harming the community, and you're harming the people that he or she has to go and be employed by. So there is a lot to that. And so we go back to the example. He was 17 by the time he entered a tutoring center similar to Sylvan and Huntington. And when
That
he was
is
given a test, he could not get past Kinder. So for me, I stopped making the assumption that every child can read and every child can do math. So I mean 70%, nope, that's too high. 50% we know can read and write
mhm.
and do math. And we know in AP, you're probably 100% there. But the general ed students, you're looking at the number being so high of them not being able to do this. And so I give you another example. On the special needs side, I know this young man, he's
Yes.
in school. So here he goes. He goes in school, he's special needs, he has to do this work, and we get it, right?
Mhm.
When they said we're taking all of the pencils and papers away for these kids, I was like, wait, what are we doing? He has to know how to write his name. He has to know how to sign his name, to write out his social security number. You're taking the ability for a child that currently needs, at the age of 15 at the time, hand over hand to write. Help me understand what's happening. So when you start to see that, you start now, and now, am I jaded? I'm not jaded. I'm disappointed. So let's be very clear. I'm not angry. I am disappointed because the leadership in schools, where their ego shows up before their reason for being there shows up, right? So your ego cannot be in a way when teaching children. It can't, because
Yeah.
it can't be, it's all about you. It has to be all about them. And this kid, they took everything
Yes.
away from him, and his grades are steadily going down, and he's losing skills left and right. And that we forget the easiest way to connect to the brain and kind of make it harder to forget is to write it down. So now you're removing that and turning everything into electronics. When is a child going to be able to sign his name? Oh, that's right. You don't want him to be able to. That's my disgust. That's why I'm so disappointed with the school leadership and those who continue to perpetuate that stuff. And it all comes down to, if the standardized test tells you that child is not ready to progress, why are you moving them forward? One, and then remove the standardized test if you're not going to pay attention to the data that you have gotten.
Exactly. No, I totally agree. And the system there, like as you said, it's putting the child, making the child progress to the next class before they actually meet the minimum standards. It's very harmful. It's very harmful.
Nice.
I know that in India and in many other countries, they have this thing of pass and fail. If there is, if this child doesn't meet the required minimum standard, the child is held back.
Hmm. Do you have any idea what cross dominance is? Thank
Cross.
you, Andrea. I have homework because I got to go look that up.
Oh, I don't. I'll check. I'll check and definitely cross dominance.
Yeah.
And
So thank you, because it forces us to pay attention to
Mhm.
what we do not understand. I do not ever claim to have all the answers, but what I will say is if I don't have the answer, let me go and find out. Also known as hand confusion or mixed dominance is motor skills manifestation in which a person favors one hand for the other. Oh, okay, I get it.
Oh,
So to me, I kind of see it like dyslexia in a sense where it starts to move things around. And if you say left hand, she's probably giving you right hand or just using something like that. So she had to look it up too. Andrea, you're funny. So so yeah, so I get it. Math is not strong, but it's also not encouraged, and it's less encouraged because there's no financial literacy being taught at home and at school.
yeah,
And without financial literacy, there is no encouragement or motivation for this child to actually seek out
exactly,
math. When you
exactly.
tell them, I'll pay you 10%, 10% of that item, if you can tell me what 10% is, then that's going to help to motivate and encourage them about math. But it actually starts in financial literacy. I think some of it can be picked up in financial literacy because
Exactly.
money is motivating.
Yeah, the kids get paid, and we might have to, in order to get them interested, we might have to do that. Say I'm trying to promote financial literacy from this fall. I'm bringing a lot of stuff from the fall, new things. One, I mentioned financial literacy, the robotics, the online robotics, trying to arrange around that program. And also another thing I forgot to mention, I'm bringing digital SAT. So
Digital
get
what?
from digital SAT program.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like a digital program that we are getting where a child, the coach, there's a tutor who teaches the student and takes exams, regular exams. And based on say, for example, the last 5 exams they take, the the software is going to calculate the probability of, again, it's not definitive, but they can sort of predict how much the kid can score, what is the rate of error rate, which areas they are strong in, which area they need to work on. So it's a very effective and a very efficient software. So everything is going digital. I'm really excited about that.
Oh, you like the digital? I do. I like the digital part, but I do believe that the tactile thing, the one where you hold the paper or the book, I think is I
Mhm.
sometimes I become concerned that we are so heavily reliant on technology, and that's one of the reasons why our children don't understand that technology is supposed to be a complement to life and not how life is completed, right?
Yeah,
And people are so busy not paying attention to that part. When I walk in a store in the grocery store, there's a little tiny baby with a phone, right? But what is mom doing? She has the child in the cart because you got to contain them little monsters because they be everywhere. She's sitting next to her on the phone. So that critical time where that child is under 2, you gave them a phone in place of your communication, in place of
exactly.
you
Yeah,
building a relationship, because that relationship is necessary. It's not, oh, I got you here and I'm feeding you and that's all. It has to be more than that. It has to be more like, let me engage with you, let me teach you how to play, let me show you what I wasn't able to see when you were this age, or let me see what it looked like when I did that, right? Like when I see my kids walking, I'm like, I wonder if that's what that was. Phil is hilarious, I have to say, because I called my niece a little monster. So save our little monsters. Them little critters be everywhere. I just lift up my hands and just let them run because they, you can't, it's like a train. But yes. And I love the fact that we understand students are more eager to learn about money, but they may not want to learn from their
Right.
parents.
Absolutely. They don't want to learn anything from the parents. It's not only the money.
Actually, I think the reason why they don't want to learn from their parents, depending on the parents. Phil, that's a very good point. Depends on the parents. If you are a parent that's robbing Peter to pay Paul month after month after month after month, no child's going to want to pay attention to that. They're not going to be interested in financial literacy because they're watching you live paycheck to paycheck with with very little disposable income and not sure about what tomorrow brings. And no one wants to learn how to replicate that. However, the visual representation allows them to replicate the same behavior again and again. But for those parents who actually know finance, and they will be the ones those children will learn from. So sometimes it's like, for me, I believe financial literacy should be for the parent and the child together at the same time versus just the child. Because what happens, and I've seen this happen, is that a child will go and learn something and the parent and bring it home and say, this is what I learned. We should try to do that. That's not the rules of this household. We will not be following those standards. Get out of my face with that craziness, right? And so if the parents aren't receiving it, the child will not keep it. So my recommendation in financial literacy for anyone who's doing financial literacy, specifically with children, you want to be able to reach the parent too, because they, much like school, will rip out what you pour in. So we send our children to school. The school says, this doesn't serve my agenda. So they remove it, right? But same goes for families. I've seen it where the school teaches the children really good and it's solid, and some of them will go back at home and they're like, this does not serve my agenda, and they will tear it out of the child, or they'll make it hard for them to continue.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So we're coming up to our final thoughts. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to give your final thoughts. I do thank you for spending your time with me. And thank you, Andrea.
It was a pleasure. I loved this discussion. Anyway, I love talking about these things.
Yes, it's good.
I would, my final point.
Go for it. Oh, what is happening? Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. So my bottom line would be making use of the time, enriching, more enrichment, especially during the time when there is less of an educational burden. For the younger students, exploration according to the interest and the parents supporting them, actively supporting them. For the older students, again, more exploration according to specialization. Start thinking about planning. Plan for your future. Think about the finances and get everything together. I know it's not easy. It's difficult, but with the support of the mentors, parents, of course, parents, mentors, educators around you, surround yourself with the people who support you, and you can get advice and be proactive. So that's what I would like to tell the students, and make use of the time. Plan, plan, plan. The third point, plan ahead, not the other two. Yes, of course, unless you are a genius, you might be. I'm not
unless you're a genius, but even they plan. Even they plan.
So again, I'm always available. Any time you can email me. My email address is counselacademy, single word, 2021 @gmail.com. So you can anytime I can be reached at that email ID with any questions. Even on the website. Our website is counsel-academy.com. There's a contact page where you can always write anything in the message section, and I'll get the message.
That is awesome. You can also scan the QR code on the screen's left for the Counsel Academy, and on the right for LinkedIn. I think that's that direction that goes. So it's always been a pleasure to talk to you. I think that we've gained some additional insight to having this conversation with you. And I think that's amazing because it's always those things we're looking for because we want to make sure that there are solutions to the problem. Teach them financial literacy, get associated with what they like, and please be sure to go ahead and ask the question, but be willing to actively listen to the answer. It may not be one you like, but it is the one you need. And it's the one that's how you're able to know what to do next. So that's my 2 cents. And I like it. All right.
Thank you so much, Tabitha. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. This has been fun. Special thanks to our friends at Helpopedia. They're always very supportive of you and me. So please make sure to go ahead and scan that QR code because we are here to help you. A lot of heart-centered people trying to make sure that your journey through childhood and parenting is as successful as successful as you want it to be. Okay. As always, thank you very much for being the teachers that you are because we love you no matter what we say. So we love you. Sometimes we're frustrated with you, but that doesn't mean that we're ousting you out. We appreciate you. We want you to know that you're not alone and we're here to support you. So after all that, thank everybody for showing up and being proactive and helping us to understand what we're supposed to do. So again, until next time, yes, we say words are power. Please remember to use them wisely. Thank you for your time today. We appreciate the support and look forward to you visiting us again next week. Same time, same place. Until then, words are power. Please remember to use them wisely. If you have an interest or like to be on our live show, please let us know and send us a direct message.